This attack is not natural. It did not come from people. It did not start with circumstances. It began the moment you realized you existed for more than survival. I know exactly when the pressure intensified. I remember the silence changing texture. One day everything felt normal, and the next, resistance appeared everywhere. Doors became heavier, thoughts became louder, sleep became fragile, and a question started echoing inside me with frightening clarity. Why now? That question is not accidental. The enemy does not waste energy on those who are asleep. He does not confront what is empty. He reacts to recognition. The day awareness is born, war announces itself. The moment you realize there is more inside you than fear, something ancient takes notice. This is not about superstition. This is pattern. Moses had not yet split seas. He had not spoken to Pharaoh. He had not lifted a staff. Still, hell reacted. Why? Because before destiny manifests, identity awakens. And when identity awakens, threat is registered. You feel it too, son and daughter. The urgency, the sense that something unseen is circling closer, the temptation to quit before understanding why you started. That pressure is not proof of weakness. It is evidence of value. If you did not matter, nothing would be resisting you. There are prayers the enemy ignores, repetitive words spoken without awareness. But there is one kind of prayer that shifts ground, a prayer born from consciousness, a prayer aligned with identity, a prayer Moses carried long before anyone knew his name. What you are about to hear is not comfortable. Comfort does not produce retreat. Truth does, awareness does, alignment does. And once this awareness is activated, there is no return to ignorance. Neutrality ends here. Stay focused. Do not look away. This is not a video to consume casually. It is a moment to recognize yourself in the narrative, because the same reason the enemy reacted to Moses is the reason you are being challenged now. Something in you threatens the order he depends on. And the war started the exact second I understood that my life was not accidental. Before that realization, everything felt smaller. I moved, I worked, I survived, but nothing resisted me. People ignored me. Systems overlooked me. Even my own thoughts stayed quiet. Then one moment changed everything. Not a miracle, not a voice from the sky, just awareness. I realized I was not here by chance. I realized I carried purpose. And the atmosphere shifted immediately. That is when resistance showed its teeth. Do you notice the pattern, son and daughter? The pressure did not come when you were lost. It came when you started asking better questions. It came when you stopped accepting humiliation as destiny. It came when you looked at your life and thought, there must be more than this. That thought is dangerous to the enemy. Awareness is never neutral. Moses lived unnoticed for years, a Hebrew child hidden, underestimated, dismissed by power. But the moment heaven marked his existence as relevant, Pharaoh felt threatened without knowing why. Orders were issued, children were hunted, blood was spilled, all because existence had been recognized before destiny was revealed. This is how it always works. The enemy attacks potential, not outcomes. He reacts to what you carry, not what you show. You think the resistance is about your mistakes, but it is about your meaning. You assume the pressure is punishment when it is actually interception. Ask yourself honestly, why did the opposition intensify now? Why did betrayal surface when you were finally standing up? Why did confusion increase when clarity was so close? These are not coincidences. These are signals. People underestimate you because they cannot measure what is invisible. They see your current condition and miss your internal awakening. But the spiritual realm does not make that mistake. It registers awareness instantly. The moment you realize you exist with intention, war protocols activate. This is why fear feels strategic. This is why urgency presses your chest. This is why quitting feels tempting. If you retreat now, nothing else is needed. But if you stand, Something ancient must retreat instead. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being challenged because you are awake. Moses did not choose war. Awareness invited it. And once existence is recognized, there is no safe return to ignorance. This realization is the first fracture in the enemy's ground. Awareness destabilizes him. Identity terrifies him. And this is only the beginning. I perceived the void. And that was the moment I understood where the enemy had been hiding. The emptiness did not appear when everything collapsed. It appeared when everything went quiet. No applause, no crisis. Just a strange, hollow space inside me that no achievement could fill. I tried to ignore it. I filled my days with noise, explanations, logic, even faith language. But the void remained. And that is when it became dangerous. The enemy does not always arrive with chaos. Sometimes he waits in silence. He studies your pauses. He occupies the spaces where you stop asking questions. Guilt lives there. Fatigue lives there. Confusion pretends to be rest there. The void is not the absence of God. It is the place where confrontation is postponed. Moses knew this void well. The desert was not punishment. It was exposure. Stripped of titles, stripped of excuses, stripped of witnesses, alone with time and memory. The palace was loud. The desert was honest. And honesty is terrifying when you carry unresolved weight. You feel it too, son and daughter, that quiet discomfort that surfaces at night. That thought you silence quickly because it demands decisions. That sensation that something is unfinished. This is not weakness. This is awareness deepening. The problem is not the void. The problem is what happens when it is ignored. The enemy thrives in delay. He does not need you to deny God. He only needs you to postpone alignment. He whispers that later is safer, that clarity can wait, that obedience can be negotiated. Meanwhile, the void grows, not to destroy you, but to pressure you into numbness. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. What if the battle is not happening around you, but inside the space you refuse to confront? What if the exhaustion is not from doing too much, but from avoiding one necessary decision? The enemy hides where avoidance feels reasonable. Moses did not meet God while running. He met him when the void became unbearable, when silence stopped being neutral, when emptiness demanded meaning. That is when the ground spoke. That is when authority began to form. If you feel hollow right now, this is not a sign to escape. It is a sign to pay attention. The void is a doorway, and whoever occupies it will shape what comes next. Do not rush past this moment. What you confront here determines who retreats later. I recognize my fall, and this is where authority was born, not lost. The moment I stopped defending myself, everything shifted. I realized the enemy had been using my silence against me, but also my excuses. I blamed circumstances. I blamed people. I blamed timing. But the real fracture was internal. I had fallen, not because I was evil, but because I was unfinished. And refusing to admit that kept me trapped. Here is the paradox the enemy hates. Authority does not come from pretending to be whole. It comes from acknowledging where you broke alignment. The fall is not the end of calling. It is the exposure of what still needs surrender. Shame says hide. Authority says confess. Shame paralyzes. Truth mobilizes. Moses could have buried his failure forever. He killed a man. He ran. He hid. He tried to erase the story, but the desert did not allow amnesia. The fall followed him until it was faced. And the moment it was acknowledged, not justified, not spiritualized, but recognized, power changed hands. This is where fear intensifies, because the enemy knows this moment well. He knows once the fall is named, accusation loses leverage. That is why he pushes condemnation so hard. He wants you ashamed, not honest. Ashamed people remain controllable. Honest people become dangerous. Look at yourself without filters, son and daughter. Not to destroy yourself, but to reclaim ground. What did you compromise? Where did you lower your standards to survive? What did you call wisdom that was actually fear? Recognition is not humiliation. It is alignment. This is the turning point. This is where guilt either imprisons you or releases you. Because when the fall is acknowledged before God, the enemy no longer owns the narrative. You do. Now do not delay this act. Delay is the enemy's favorite currency. Write this prophetic phrase now with intention and seriousness. Write it as if the spiritual realm is listening, because it is. I recognize my fall and I take back my authority in God. Do not edit it. Do not soften it. Write it exactly. Words spoken with alignment create legality. This is not symbolic. This is strategic. Something breaks when truth is declared. Something retreats when ownership is restored. And once authority is reclaimed, silence becomes unbearable for the enemy. This is where the balance shifts. I cried out, and the Psalms spoke for me when my own words collapsed. There comes a moment when internal dialogue fails. Logic cannot negotiate with pressure anymore. Motivation runs dry. Confidence feels performative. That is when the cry emerges, not as noise, but as alignment. A cry is not desperation, it is precision. It is the moment you stop explaining yourself and start positioning yourself. Moses understood this before history recorded it. He did not invent power, he aligned with it. The psalm was not poetry for comfort, it was language with authority. Words calibrated by covenant. When he cried out, he did not ask the enemy to leave. He spoke from a place the enemy recognized and could not contest. This is where many fail. They pray emotionally but remain misaligned. Emotion alone does not cause retreat. Authority does. The psalm carries borrowed authority. It allows you to speak beyond your current strength. It speaks for you when fear distorts your voice. Notice how resistance reacts when alignment happens. Pressure increases briefly, doubt spikes, distractions multiply. This is not coincidence. This is counter-pressure. The enemy senses the shift and tries to interrupt it before it stabilizes. Listen carefully, son and daughter. This prayer has forced retreat for generations, not because of repetition, but because of recognition. Recognition of who governs. Recognition of where legitimacy flows. Recognition that you are no longer negotiating from insecurity. When you align your voice with what God already declared, the environment responds, atmospheres shift, resistance recalculates. What once pressed you starts backing away without explanation. That is how retreat works. Silent, strategic, immediate. This is not the time to stay invisible. What you are receiving must circulate. Authority grows when it is shared. That is why I ask you now, without hesitation, subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Do it intentionally, not for algorithms, but so this message moves freely and reaches those under silent pressure like you were. Darkness thrives in isolation. Truth multiplies when released. This act is not passive. It is alignment with expansion, and expansion threatens containment systems the enemy depends on. Hold this position. Do not rush ahead. What comes next seals what has already begun. Finally, I was fulfilled by grace, and the enemy could no longer stay. This is the moment everything becomes quiet in a different way. Not the silence of avoidance, but the silence of authority. The pressure that once chased you loses its reference point. The fear that screamed now hesitates. Not because the enemy disappeared, but because your position changed. Grace did not make you emotional. Grace established you. This is the truth many never reach. Victory is not loud, it is stable. When Moses stood grounded in grace, the battle did not end because of shouting or effort. It ended because legitimacy was clarified. The enemy retreats when he realizes he no longer has permission to occupy your ground. Grace fulfills what discipline could not sustain. It seals what awareness initiated. You are no longer reacting, you are governing. And governance is unbearable to anything that survives on chaos and accusation. Notice the shift inside you now, son and daughter. The urgency has not disappeared, but it has changed direction. It no longer pushes you to escape. It calls you to remain. That is authority. Fear does not vanish. It submits. Guilt does not argue. It dissolves. Confusion loses language. This is where identity stabilizes. You are not proving anything anymore. You are positioned. The enemy does not need to be chased. He leaves when there is nothing left to negotiate. Grace ends negotiation. Now seal this moment, not with emotion, but with alignment. Pray as Jesus taught, not rushed, not distracted, fully present. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.